I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Kenya. They treat me like a son anywhere I go, and even though no one can tell, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone.
So we must have crossed the border. Yep, Euros. I think? No?
Yeah.
Yes, a bit of both.
10 kilometres per hour.
Yeah. Well, that's just weird.
Claude, a new country for you.
How strange. There were no signs.
No.
It's just split, it's just gone. It's gone into from...
Malin Head, Ireland's most northerly point. From shipwrecks to legends about mermaids, Malin Head is a place apart. Titanic exchanged signals with the Marconi wireless station here during her sea trials in 1912. Sea state, moderate to rough. Malin features regularly in shipping forecasts. Relatives lit bonfires on the headland as a last farewell to emigrants sailing to North America. From ocean liners to German U-boats, the treacherous waters around here are a graveyard for shipping. Hundreds of basking sharks swim in the deep waters off Malin Head. To be honest, it's pretty true to its photograph.
Oh no, because I thought, oh, that looks like it's a nice car park by the side of the river.
Well, you've got Rathmullen, which is the next one up,
Yep.
which is another park on a pier. It looks better actually. That's 15 minutes down the road. Beyond that, you sort of run out of.
More of a parking area, isn't it, than this?
Yes.
It just feels like you're parking by the side of the road.
Yeah.
The other one I saw was
Is that Mulroy Bay?
Mulroy Bay.
Potentially noisy road nearby. Please be respectful. Nobody's stopped. Nobody's reviewed it since 23. I think we'll go to the other one.
Okay, let's go to the one you found. Look at this. This is the most beautiful beach you have ever seen. Blimey. Blimey.
Ballymastocker Strand. Fanad Lighthouse was designed by George Halpin. The light was first lit on St Patrick's Day 1817 using sperm oil wick lamps and parabolic reflectors, showing red to the Atlantic and white to Loch Swilly. Soon after the HMS Salandra was wrecked, Captain Hill of the Royal Navy in Derry wrote to a member of the ballast board suggesting a lighthouse should be built at Fannet Point, as Fanad Head was then known. The Salandra would not have been wrecked, he insisted, if there had been a lighthouse at the entrance to Loch Swilly. Permission was granted and work began in 1815 with a budget of £2,000.
More stunning County Donegal coast road, in search of a viewpoint that never materialised.
So tonight's park up is slightly different. We're at the Singing Pub near Clontala, still in Donegal, and this is our site for tonight. I'll give you a quick tour. The pub is over there, large car park, and barrier here denotes the motorhome car park. Quite sure what that one's doing there. There we are, there is Claude. We're currently the only ones here, and the facilities are sparse. There is a water tap and there are bins. Bins seem to be somewhat of a premium in Ireland, so we'll take the opportunity while we can. There's electric hookup up here. About the only thing that we need from the world is some water. But if you choose electric hookup, that's up here. It's €15 a night without hookup. I think hookup's another €5, and then you've got the facility. The facility is a toilet and a sink and a shower. I think, to be fair to say, it's seen better days. Beggars can't be choosers, and I'm going to go and have a shower. But it's a nice enough place. View of the hills. We visited the Dunfanaghy Workhouse, one of a network of workhouses established in Donegal after the introduction of the Poor Act in 1838. Donegal was very much a rural economy that was decimated during the years of famine. Workhouses consisted of a reception, main hall, dormitories, workshops, schoolrooms, kitchens and storage for tools, all contained within yards and high stone walls. Life was hard for the visitors to the workhouse, with families segregated and expected to carry out hard labour on meagre rations. During the visit we followed the story of Hannah Herity, who was once a resident of the Dunfanaghy workhouse. It was estimated she was born around 1830 and claimed to have been 95 when she died in 1926. Hannah lived a life of great hardship, from the famine to the workhouse to surviving as a single independent woman in rural Ireland by begging and peddling. The visit to the workhouse was interesting, a very nice gift shop and cafe attached. Tonight's park up is at the point where the ferry goes to Tory Island, and it's absolutely stunning. So here we are at the Crowley Distillery. So not only is Irish whiskey spelt differently, it's also made differently.
Welcome everybody, my name's John Joe, I'm your tour guide for today. The tour should last between 45 minutes and an hour and is very much about history and whiskey. History because this building, this townland, this place is full of history. But don't worry, I know why you're here. The building's also full to the rim with whiskey. You probably thought as you came in, there was a bit like coming into Mass. Well, that's deliberate because these are church pews from the birthplace of one of our patron saints. In Ireland, we're lucky enough to have 3 patron saints. We have St Patrick, we have St Bridget of Kildare, St Columkill. And St Columkill was born over the hills in a wee place called Garton. He is one of the fathers of whiskey. When he left Ireland in the year 563, he went to Iona, which was just off the coast of what becomes Scotland. It wasn't Scotland at the time, it was a mixture of different kingdoms. And St Columkill and his monks went to Iona to convert the pagans to Christianity. But not only did they bring with them the word of God, they brought with them the secret of distillation, how to make the alcohol. And as they went through what becomes Scotland, they converted the pagans, but they also taught them how to make that alcohol. And that alcohol over the centuries would evolve into Escobar, the water of life, whiskey. We siphon off the methanol to recycle and we collect the alcohol. We do this twice a day. We send it through to the second side of the stills. As you're leaving, you will see they're identical, just a longer process. And we just purify the liquid. And when we're ready, we fill up 6 casks at a time. These are ex-Buffalo Trace bourbon casks. In Ireland, we make 2 types of whiskey. We make single malt whiskey, then make pot still whiskey. Pot still whiskey stems to 1785, when England were at war with the French. They ran out of money, so they put a tax on Irish whiskey. Too clever for them, we wouldn't pay it. They put a tax on malted barley. Once again, to get round it, we substituted malted barley for unmalted barley. And what was a tax dodge, by accident made exceptionally tasting whiskey. And at the height of the Irish whiskey industry, about 90% of the whiskey produced in this little island was pot still whiskey.
Tonight's park up is at Glen Colmcille folk village, where tomorrow we will go and see some traditional thatched Irish cottages and find out a little bit more about Irish village life. This sculpture was unveiled in 2016. The representation of Ireland is each of the areas or counties are shown in their predominant rock. So for example, Antrim is carved out of basalt. As we have come to expect on the Wild Atlantic Way, the view out of the back of the van is stupendous.
Hello.
Hello.
Lovely evening.
Isn't it gorgeous? Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Another good day, so
Isn't it gorgeous?
yeah, lovely.
Wrong, but gorgeous. Yeah, when will the rain start?
Oh, I see this week sometime.
And how long will it last?
Oh, I don't know.
No, could be months.
That's to say is a question, but anyway, you can't change it, so you just go with it.
It's very true. Very, very true. May we have 2 adults, please, for the museum.
I think this is God's own country. Put by a Donegal and I'd buy it, but you get beauty like this, comparable beauty in any county in Ireland. But I think it's a beauty of God, well worth fighting for.
James McDyer was born in the first decade of the 20th century. His parents had a small holding 20 miles north of Glencolmkill. James was the youngest of a large family, and despite the extreme poverty of the time, they managed to cope quite well. He grew up in a county drained by immigration, and his whole life was influenced by it. He found his vocation in his ability to be able to help people, so as a young man, he became a priest. He saw it as one way of helping people, and once ordained, he soon found himself sailing for England, where he spent the war years amongst Irish workers. In 1952, at the age of 40, he was posted to Glencolmkill, and they, with him, have tried to win a better living from the glorious but inhospitable moorland.
I'm an activist by nature, and I felt it was no damn good preaching justice and equality on a Sunday if you cannot work to ensure that it happens on a Monday. When you see the causes of people's misery and deprivation, the ravages of immigration, the psychological devastation of unemployment, it is a Christian duty to provide effective help. To be perfectly truthful, I felt as mad as hell that these people were subjected through neglect to such enormous decimation.
This is a typical tenant farmer's cottage from 1700. The floor was made of clay and mud, and the walls were plastered with the same substance. Rushes were strewn across the floor as a covering. The roof is made in 3 layers: a layer of bog timber, which was preserved under the bogs, a layer of straw, which is the top layer of the bog, and then straw on the outside. The fireplace is open from the ground to the roof, which meant there was a lot of smoke in the house. The fire was the main source of heat and was used for cooking and baking. The iron pots for cooking are hanging on the crook, and the griddle was used for making oatmeal bread. This was their main diet, in addition to homemade butter, fish, seaweed and shellfish. The pot on top was known as the oven. It was covered with a lid and hot coals were placed on top to create heat all around for baking. They used a heather besom to sweep the floor. They dried their clothes on the cradan over the fire. The people of Glenconkill came from a background of mainly farming and fishing. The two occupations often went hand in hand, with many farmers taking to the seas in spring and summer to fish salmon and lobster. They would make their lobster pots in the winter, usually in the cowshed, and they mended their nets there too. They were often seen spreading their nets out on the grass during the dry weather as they prepared to mend them for the next fishing trip. It was the only source of income for many families, and their livelihoods depended on it.
Hello.
For a table?
Yes, please.
Someone will be with you in just a second.
Thank you. We're just off a really busy road, really fast road,
This is a Creevy Keel Court tomb. This is the coolest day we've had so far. It's definitely a bit more cloudy today.
Creevy Keel, a large and well-preserved megalithic monument in County Sligo, considered one of the largest and best examples of a court cairn in Ireland. Last excavated in 1935, when they protected the site with an outer wall. Creevy Keel is a massive wedge-shaped pile of stones, arranged on a roughly east to west axis. The chamber and court open towards the east, and the chamber is oriented towards the cliffs in the Aru mountain. The ground is falling away gently towards the sea, so the monument is facing up a gradual slope. Measuring 55 by 25 metres, with the widest edge towards the east, tapering to a tail on the west end. A narrow passage, which may have been roofed with lintels originally, leads into a massive enclosed internal court. This court could easily hold 100 people, measuring 15 by 9 metres. Seems to have been extended at least 3 times during the Neolithic period. Overall, the court gives the impression of having a function as a sacred cattle pen. Creevy Keel is the largest in a chain of 5 megalithic buildings clustered together in the Clifoni area on what was surely a Neolithic routeway. 2 other large and largely destroyed cairns can be found nearby at Creevy Moor and Carton Plank. The old name for Creevy Keel is Cazelle and Bogoyskin, the fort of Bogoyskin. Bogoyskin being the well near the cairn. The well and cairn may be named after the distinctive peak of Ben Wiskin Mountain. Imagine this is where you get 100 people. I don't think you get 100 people through this hole.
Only if they were very little people.
I think they were little people.
Maybe the little people.
Oh, not those little people.
Blimey, I'm not going to try that. You're mad.
I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Canyo. They treat me like a son anywhere I go, and even though no one can tell, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle